Hello, this is Rebecca here, and today I'm back with a video to show you a journaling page that I want to do similar to what I did in my weekly layout. I basically used watercolor and stamps to create this kind of like a scenery. This was just part of my weekly planner, and so I wanted to kind of do the same thing and show you guys how I did it. And I also kind of wanted to do something very creative. I'm to the very end of my journal, and I literally have like this page, and there's some other page I need to journal in, but I'm waiting to develop some pictures, and then so I'm down to the very end, which is perfect because it's close to the end of September. So I feel like it's new month, new journal, and so I wanted to kind of create a scene similar to what I did, I guess it was last week. So I'm just going to get started now. I try to be a little bit more prepared than what I have been in the past when I do videos, because a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, let's do the video. So I've kind of set out some stamps that I plan on using. I love my tree stamp, which I'm going to be using this Potter's Clay by Memento Paints. These are stamps. These are some of my favorite stamps. Like I've said it before in videos, that I've had them for a very long time, and I haven't had any problems with them drying out. So I'm going to use my tree stamp, and then I also have, these are all by Deadbeat Design stamps, and this is their logo, and I will leave a link to their website. I personally bought these all at a shop in Salado, Texas. If you ever get to Salado, Texas, they have the cutest little barn-shaped store, and it's filled with stamps. Head-to-toe stamps and all these accessories to make things. I definitely want to go back. I'd love to go before Christmas, but I haven't had a chance to figure that out. So, but this is one of theirs. It's just a little fence line. And what else did I have? Oh, these cute little, these are also by them. They're just cute little birds. Aren't they cute? I thought they could be cute sitting in a tree or on a fence line. And what other stamps do I have that I was thinking about using? I think that's it for now. Oh yeah, and then I wanted to do like a scenery, and I just wanted to do some wording. And so I have this journaling card that says, "In everything give thanks," and so I'm going to cut out the words, and then I also cut me a lot of these. This is from a punch that I have. Let's see if I can get the punch out. But this is I don't know what happened to it. Oh, here it is, right in front of my eyes, by EK Success, and this is just a feather punch. So I'm going to use those as well. So let's go ahead and get started, because I know with the watercolors it may take a little while for them to dry. And basically I just pin the pages back with these binder clips to hold it down, because look at all this fluffy goodness over here. So it has to be kind of held down a little bit. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way here. Got a mess going on. And so I'm just going to take my watercolors, and I've got my brush that I can use on them, and I just basically came in here with the blue. Oops, I got a little purple in there, and I just kind of splotched around like this. Nothing like fancy about this. I just kind of made little splotches. Now this is 28-pound paper, and I know that everybody is kind of finicky about their paper. Now this one I haven't had really any issues. It will show through like at first. You'll see on the other side it'll be kind of blotchiness, but typically I don't have any problems, and I can come back after it dries and it's fine to move on with the bottom. Then I'm just going to, basically on the next page is what I mean by the bottom, like basically turning it over, and the next page is fine to go to. So I'm just blotching, and I'll just come in here and add some different coloring as well. I just hope this dries for you guys so I can stamp. Now, typically, like what I'll do, because I journal in the morning and I typically journal at night. But usually at night I'll come in and use the watercolors and get my basic down and like base down. And then I let it dry, and then I come back in here the next morning and I add my wording and my stamps and things like that. So now if I was journaling, I would probably not really do, well, I take that back. I probably would add a little bit more watercolor, and you can write over that, but sometimes oops, that's kind of a greenish. But a lot of times I will leave white space in there just to have some area to keep to journal in. I might have pulled some of that green from what I was using, because I'm using these watercolors. These are the ones that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. They're fairly inexpensive, and so I'm just going to come in here like that. I don't have a lighter blue. I may add some white. See how that works. I may come in here and dot that off a little bit, because I did add quite a bit of water to that. Okay. So, while that's drying, I'm going to set this over here. I got a fan on going over here, and hopefully we can get it to dry. I'm going to come in here and then I'll show you real quick. I'm going to fussy cut these wording out. Now, I got these great scissors from my recent meetup with the Reset Girl, and these are pretty fabulous scissors. So basically, when I do, and I know everybody fussy cuts, I mean, you know, it's basically you're just being particular about the way that you cut around your whatever you're cutting, especially if there's a lot of curves and things like that in there. But I'm basically wanting to just cut out the wording, and I don't mean to do this completely on camera here. You kind of get the gist of the idea, but I'm just doing it kind of while I'm letting that dry a little bit there. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just cutting these out, or each word out, and I'll show you a little bit how I did this other one on that page. That I just cut around the wording there. It was a journaling card, and I just cut the words out. So with this, I'm cutting each of these individually instead of as a group, just because I want them to be able to fit onto the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be using acrylic paint. That's what I use to dot the trees, and also I like to use acrylic with the watercolor, because you can kind of add some different shadowing in there and be a little bit more detail orientated, I feel like, with acrylic. And I'm almost done here, and then we can see if that is dry yet. Again, I'm just kind of doing the little curve of this. Now, if you wanted to practice your handwriting, that would be wonderful too. But I saw this big old card, and I didn't know exactly where I was going to use it, and I loved that it has in everything give thanks. This next month's kit that I have out is actually called Thankful, so I'm kind of loving this time of the year when you can really think about, it's still wet, but you can really think about reasons that you're thankful and be appreciative. I like that this time of the year when you're more aware. So looks like this word is going to be really, really big for this page. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to come in here and cut like that. And then you can kind of divide it up in everything. give. Oh no, looky. It's too big also. Bummer. Okay. So that kind of blows that idea. Let's see what we can kind of do here. This paper's still very wet. Let's see here. In everything, give. Thanks. I wonder if I could cut the T off a little bit here without it being that big of a difference. That's better. Okay. That works out perfectly. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside. This paper is still soaking wet, but we're gonna play with it anyway. So, tree stamp. I'm gonna come in here with this is like a potter's clay that I'm using. I have a rich cocoa. Oops. Uh-oh. I have a rich cocoa also, but I think I'm going to use that for the fence line. So I'm going to come in here and just, you know, how to stamp. We just cover this up with the colors, and then we press down, and this is where we hope for the best that it comes out. I think it's going to be kind of crooked. I don't know. It turned out really good. Perfect. So we're gonna, since I'm doing the wording on this side, I think I'm gonna do like the double tree on this side. Now, being that this is kind of since this side's so fluffy, you know, because I was looking for my here it is. Looking for my clipboard, because I think with the clipboard you can I'm gonna re-wet this a little bit with the stamp. You can create a hard surface versus this. I've spilt my water before everywhere. So I'm just going to kind of move this stuff away since I'm going to be using the clipboard as a hard surface. And that way you don't have your journaling fluffiness behind it to where it won't make a good clean stamp. See how it turned out. Perfect. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to do another tree on this side. Add a little bit more ink. See how this can work without. Maybe I should just do this, since this is gonna, I'm just worried about it not behaving. Where it won't do a clean branch display. Okay. So we're just gonna go with that. Move this over here. And then we're gonna come in here with some orange, some red, darker orange, and yellow. And we're just going to shake these up a little bit. And we're going to do our little happy dots on the trees. And actually, we could also come in here and do our fence line. Oh, the yellow's got messy. I'm going to go, I lost my, oh, here it is, the cover to that. I'm going to get my rich cocoa and put my fence in. Like, I'm scared to do this. I was debating on, oh my goodness, my fence line's crooked. That's okay. We're going to breathe. This is journaling. It's okay. I was a little nervous. I was a little overzealous with the fence line here. Get out my clipboard here. And try not to spill the paint. Okay. That is some wonky looking fence, right? But you know what? We're going to work with it, and we may actually be able to not make it look so bad. But that's part of journaling. You're just playing along. It doesn't have to be perfect. Unless you want it to be. In that case, you cover it up with paper and you move on. But, okay. I was going to try to find some thin paper brushes. I went to this a class on Sunday. It was put out by Posh Pieces. And she gave us this awesome kit that had I know it had some paintbrushes in here, but I had so much fun digging around in here with my daughter. I'm actually going to be showing you some stuff that we did in another video. But I had some skinny paintbrushes in there, but they're not in there. So I'm going to reach over here and see if I can find some skinny paintbrushes to make my little dots. So, just going to come in, just like I've done in other videos, and just make little red dots for leaves. Like so. And I think I just kind of have an idea in my head on how to fix that fence line. I think what I'm going to do is come in here with some pumpkins, making some pumpkins up. And then what I'm doing here is I'm just adding some to the ground to make it look like leaves have fallen. Okay. Let's move on to another color. I think I'll do yellow. We actually don't start... The leaves actually started changing, which was really ironic. We had a cold front for like... It wasn't a cool front, but that was when Hurricane Harvey hit. It kind of... There was a... it basically, I don't know, they always say we have high pressure and that kind of stuff, but we had high pressure that kept it real cool around here for a couple weeks. It was so nice in the mornings and in the evenings, and it didn't get so hot and humid during the day. And so I think the whole leaves were like, oh, it's time to start changing. And so you can see a few leaves have changed, but now it's been back in the 90s and we're back hot again, and now they're just all confused. So everything's blooming again. It's just the craziest thing. But we don't get really, our leaves don't change till around December. And when they do, they're beautiful. We live with we have a lot of oak trees in our area, and so the leaves are just gorgeous. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is come down here, and I'm just going to do little bitty, this is going to be my little pumpkin patch to kind of try to cover up my fence line here. And I'm just going to I'm going to dry these pumpkins. I'm going to like paint these little pumpkins. I'm just doing little bitty round shapes. Just like that. Covering up some of those leaves, that's okay. And some making tall, some making short and round. Me and my daughter both like the real tall, skinny pumpkins, and so we found the perfect one. And it's very tall and it's very skinny. Okay, so And we may come over here and do the same thing. It's happy little pumpkins. Is that Bob Ross or what? The happy little clouds and the happy little pumpkins. He was a lot more fine artist than this little stuff that I do. Okay. So, we're going to come in here. And I've got this. This is one of my favorite colors. It's like a burnt orange. And I'm just going to come over here and put more little... You know what, that looks too brown. Let me find another orange. Something that's not quite as... Oh, this is jack-o'-lantern orange. Let's see if it seems like it's kind of yucky in there. But I'm just gonna... I just didn't want that was too brown, so it was looking kind of strange with the trees. This orange paint is seeing its better days, I do believe. Okay. Making these little oranges, little orange leaves, kind of dotting it. I'm getting a little messy here, which is fun. And then I'm just going to come down here and do the same thing I did on that side. Which my paintbrush is acting a little weird with this paint. Let's get something. Get another one. It's making it too floppy. It's like one minute you have all these paintbrushes and then the next, I don't know what happens. I think my good ones are in the, where I've washed them and I haven't brought them back in the studio. This one's kind of plopping it too, but okay. So, let's check on these pumpkins. Are they dry yet? They look a little dry. We may wait a little bit on it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is get out my squeaky sticker machine. And the reason I'm going to do that is because with the lettering, this really, really works good. This is my Xyron Create a Sticker little machine, and it's very squeaky, so bear with me while I squeak my die cuts into stickers. Just like that. And you basically just stick it in here, turn the wheel, and when you go to buy this, did I lose my lettering? I saw something fly down. Oh, here they are. They were just turned over. It's a big sticker wheel, so a lot of times I will go in there and buy, go into Hobby Lobby and use my 40% off, and I'll buy it. Buy the extra paper. Got paintbrushes flying everywhere. Okay, so make sure I say this: in everything, give thanks. So I think I'm going to start with thanks. Actually, I'm going to use this ruler as like a guide, just to kind of give an idea of where I want to lay these down so I have enough room. That way I know exactly where they go. So the little ones are not that big of a deal. Just like that. That way I make sure I have plenty of room. Let me put my give. That way I'm not ended up with going to cover up my fence that I was so worried about, right? And when this stuff sticks down, it sticks down. It's covering up a little bit more than what I wanted, but we're just going to go with what we have. Oh, that scared me. Sorry, I moved that. That's sort of falling. Okay, so it kind of like covered the trees up, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna say that's just kind of how it is. It didn't look like it was going to do that much. And you know what I could do is come over here and use this side to journal. But let's finish up those pumpkins real quick. Okay, I'm just covering these up because I can just see myself dumping the paint over and making a huge mess. Okay, so we're going to go get our little handy dandy pen here. I'm going to use a micron. I know I don't have my one Illustrated Faith pen, which is what I've been using. And I'm just coming in here and kind of making, just like I've done before, where making them round. I'm going to, going around them with the pen, and then I'm going to come back and make little stems on them. And what I like about when you're doing a quick little mixed media journaling page, that's the fun part about it, is it doesn't have to be perfect. Especially when you're really doing it in your journal to make, you know, really and truly, I really want to write over here, like I've been thinking a lot. There's so much to be thankful for, and I think doing the kit too kind of brought that out in me. Like, I know that's because when I'm putting my kits together, so it's like you get engrossed in it, and so and also here in the States, you know, we have Thanksgiving coming up, and so that is always a time for me to really have gratitude and really be thankful for what I do have, which is health, and, you know, not focus on the negativity. I just came here with some stamps. I'm just kind of playing around because that's just what I'm doing. You can never have too many hearts. I even put that in on my Instagram feed this week because my page is filled with hearts on my weekly planner. Okay, so I've got my little pumpkins. Let's add some little stems on there, and that way they kind of start looking complete. Okay, I took the flat brush, and that way I can just kind of come in here and just do little swoop downs, and we're gonna just like that, just add a little stem on there for them. Just like that. And then I'll come back when they're dry and and actually you could probably have done this before you did the inking, but I just doing it a little backwards here. Okay, so what do you think? Oh, you know what? We need to add our little birds. While that's drying, we're going to add these little bitty birds to, I'm just going to pick this brown because it's kind of like almost like a shadow. in the tree. We're going to add him. Actually, I'm going to put him on the fence line. Ta-da! Where's the other little bird? Let's put him on the fence. I mean, on the tree. There we go. We could add a couple more. It could be those, if you have grackles, we have a lot of grackles here, so that's what we could have grackles loitering around, making a bunch of noise. Or they could be crows. We got crows too. I actually haven't heard crows in a while, but we used to have a lot of them around here. Oh, and the cool thing last night is, which I was a little worried about my little gray kitty because she's so little, but I heard an owl, and it lives in an old pine tree, and it was really, really cool. It was like going, hoo hoo hoo, just like that. And so I was kind of worried about my little kitty because she's very small, and I could just see him taking off with her, and that would be horrible. Okay, so what do you think? I mean, is it cute? Is it journal worthy? I think so. I'm just going to come in here and add these little, now they really look like pumpkins. You got to put a little stem on there. Oh, this one I didn't even add a stem. I just marked it in with a pen. And you can take your more time on this. You can, I think what I need though is more leaves on the ground. These pumpkins are like over here hanging out with nothing around them, so I think I need to put some little orange remnants. Oh, this orange paint is so, it needs to be thrown away. It's just clumping everywhere. But I think I'm going to come in here and kind of, look, there's a piece of sparkle on there. And then I'm going to mix the colors up a little bit because we all know that when the leaves are coming down, they are blowing everywhere. And so you're not going to have just one plop of one colored leaves. Okay. Ta-da! There we go. And there you have. You made like a little scene here with stamping, with paints, with watercolor, and actually, you know, I feel like I need to add a little bit something over here. Golly, this paint is like driving me crazy. It's getting everywhere. Let's try to get another color over here, another orange. So that one will lead me. There's bright orange. It's just everywhere. Let's see here. So I think what I'm going to do is come in here with this. That's better. It's not as clumpy and mess getting everywhere. And I think I'm just going to like kind of add some orange around this lettering to kind of break it up a little bit where it doesn't look so, hello big blue lettering. Like that, maybe. That one I don't really have to add it because those trees in the background. There we have it. I think it looks okay. Why am I feeling I need to put some green? You know, you gotta just kind of play with it. And what's weird is like I will kind of lean back and look in the camera, like I'm looking at through the camera what it looks like what you guys are seeing, and it helps. It helps to go, you know, I could add some shading down in here, and it will make it look a little more. Those pumpkins to me, especially when I'm seeing it on, they just feel like they're just sitting out there, like they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, I've just been plopped down in this field. So I think if I add some different shadowing in here, it doesn't make them seem so out of place, maybe. And a lot of times, like when I'm painting or doing different designs, I will come in here, and when I, you know, I'll think, oh, it looks pretty good. And then if you take your lens, look at what you've done through your camera lens, and sometimes that can really make you go, oh, it needs a little bit more something. See, doesn't that look pretty? The different shadowing, I'm really liking that. And then I think I still like the sky, but I think I'm going to come around the edges and do it like a little darker up here. And then that way it kind of creates a frame for your art, for your journaling page. It frames it in just a tad bit. Don't you just love watercolor? It's so forgiving, and it just can make things look soft. I like that. I like how it turned out. Wish I had some like turquoisey to put here. Let me get these other colors. I think these are more darker. But let's see if I have a... Let's see what this color looks like. I'm going to do a little... Okay. I think that might be the trick. And I just kind of blotch my... Boy, that ink, I was kind of curious about those little ink pads. You know, about it running these are great. Let's look at that. What does it say? Does it say acid-free, water-based, fade-resistant, fast-drying on most paper, excellent for capturing stamp images? Well, it's excellent for not bleeding too, because I know I've had some stamps, inks, that you think they're dry, and then next thing you know, you're putting paint on top of them, and you're smearing it everywhere. Ta-da! I think I'm happy with that. What do y'all think? It looks good? Think it'll be journal worthy? I think so. I just wanted to see what this color was. It's darker green. Okay. I think that's it. Oh, I love the green. It's so pretty. Now that, I like it. And I want to come in here and journal about something, either, you know, today, or just write something that I'm thankful for, which I have a lot to be thankful for. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I hope you are inspired to create something fun too, and I will see you in my next video.